So, get up in there.
Hey babe, we're finally doing a Jeff and Hayley video. While I sip on Jeff Fisher's habit wine. That wasn't really habit wine. I gulped there. Hi, I'm Kitty Monk, and I'm here to talk to you about American Dad. Or more specifically, Jeff and Hayley. All ships have names. We'll call this one, Baberstone? I don't know. It was actually really hard to come up with a ship name this time around. You know what? Let's just call them Jeff and Hayley. That works, right? Okay, Jeff and Hayley. Now, American Dad, for those of you who don't know, is a modern version of a sitcom from early on called All in the Family. A show that aired when Seth MacFarlane and his sister Rachel were growing up, and was considered revolutionary for its time because, well, it focused on a conservative, closed-minded bigot named Archie Bunker, who was also the inspiration for Cartman, and his high-pitched, spacey wife Ethel, who was the inspiration for Francine. The show, kind of like American Dad or King of the Hill, was about him putting aside his prejudices and growing as a person. One of the main conflicts in the show concerns Archie and his relationship with his son-in-law Michael, aka Meathead. Archie's daughter Gloria was super liberal, and at one point, she and Michael got arrested for protesting in the nude. My point is, this is a good framework for American Dad and the relationship between Jeff and Hayley, aka a conservative father fighting with his liberal daughter and her idiotic, equally liberal boyfriend. So, let's discuss. At the start of the show, Jeff was Hayley's on-again, off-again boyfriend, and pretty much an excuse to give one of Seth MacFarlane's friends his own role. Yeah, actually, Jeff Fisher's a real person. Yeah. But eventually, the pair buckled down and married. Still, one has to wonder if Jeff and Hayley are right for each other. And I'd have to say that barring a couple of moments, yes, I think they are. He encourages the good parts of Hayley, and Hayley often encourages him to mature and grow, if only slightly. Even if Jeff comes into prominence during the episode Stan Knows Best, well, that's technically not his first appearance. No. He appeared all the way back in the pilot, although he didn't really do anything besides establish he's dating Hayley, and because he might not be the type of guy Stan would approve of, he has to sneak in.
Some guy at the restaurant sent his meatloaf back because there was a hair in it, but it's cool because it was mine.
I can't. I have this paper due.
Bummer. Well, you know what Shakespeare said. I mean, I don't.
It actually sounds good. But okay, let's get to Stan Knows Best. Wow, I have been reviewing this episode a lot as of recent. Lately, Stan has been tired of Hayley's liberal views, the straw that breaks the camel's back being her dyeing her hair to support the Green Party, and then Stan shaving it because Hayley just can't wear a wig. Shortly afterwards, Hayley starts to date a man named Jeff, who Stan disapproves of, mostly because he doesn't know the guy.
Jeff's here. Later.
Who's Jeff?
My boyfriend. Don't wait up.
Boyfriend? How can she be old enough to have a boyfriend? She still wets her bed.
Oh, he is gonna be disappointed, I'll tell you what. But Jeff is invited over for dinner, and it seems to go over well. Oh, I wonder what they had for dinner. Was it meatloaf? Was it shallow and pedantic? They even have a riveting conversation involving the meaning of life.
My life flashes before my eyes, and I'm bored.
He's bored. Oh, you took us the other way with it, Jeff. Thank you.
I would do the same or just start freaking the heck out. But, well, probably the last one. But one question that will become prominent in this video is, why do Jeff and Hayley belong together? Well, for me personally, I think it's because they work well as a couple. They have compatible personalities, even if much like her father, Hayley's married to a crazy blonde loon, but in some ways, they make each other better. Hayley knows that deep down, Jeff can be a good person, and she often tries to help him bring that trait to the surface, and often grounds herself when she's around him, while Jeff tries to do right by Hayley, like we see here. And even if he does do his best, and his best could be a bit better, well, you do know he means well, so that helps. Jeff invites Hayley to move in with him, but she declines because they've only really dated for like 3 weeks. Wait, so the pilot was like 2 weeks ago? I can believe that. But she changes her mind when Stan kidnaps her from the house party they're attending, forbids her from dating Jeff, and ties her up. They decide to move in, but...
Come on, let's go to your place.
This is my place.
What? You live in your van?
No, we live in our van. My mom had me right where you're sitting.
I'm still convinced he's lying about his mama, or he was told by Hayley she ran away because how could she do that? Run away before he was born. But yes, I like how even if Jeff lives in his van, well, again, this is a really bad idea for the two to live in his van, but he didn't mean well. He just wanted to help Hayley and have a happy life with her. Plus, that was the only way he knew how.
Come celebrate on the patio.
Can we just get out of here?
This fan is our pen and the road is our parchment, and together we'll drive a poem across America.
Oh, how romantic. Yeah, too bad you don't get past the stop sign. Well, actually, they don't get past the property. Why did I do that voice?
Yep, this is the spot. We are right where we need to be. I gotta use the can.
Plus, we see in this episode that even Jeff has his limits. Stan takes away Hayley's credit card so she can't afford food or college, and to make ends meet, she turns to stripping. And Jeff isn't cool with this, mostly because Hayley is lying to him.
I'd never be cool with stripping.
Really?
I mean, I've dated 3 strippers and 2 of them turned up dead. And the cops always go to the boyfriend with the van. That's profiling, man, and that's wrong.
I understand how you feel, Jeff. I mean, people often profile me as a furry when I'm clearly not. And they tell me I need to get an OnlyFans even if I'm in training to be an English teacher.
Who's your daddy?
I am.
Dad!
Blow up many forerunners today? Or did you forget?
Jeff, I'll do the talking.
Let me go!
But you know how I said that at times Hayley is the most mature person in the relationship? Like, she wears the pants? I guess literally in this case, because she's actually wearing pants? Well, we first see that in Francine's flashback. Ooh, she has a new shirt, like in a non-weird way, and I would totally wear that outside of a con if I wasn't self-conscious about my tummy pouch. This week, Jeff has a new idea for him and Hayley.
Hey, Hayley, guess where I'm taking you this weekend? Burning Man!
That's how I found out that festival existed. Well, that in the SpongeBob episode where it turns out he's so annoying that everybody collectively agrees to leave him for like a week. But if you don't know what it is, well, Jeff explains it.
It's this awesome celebration where they burn this huge wooden man.
Also, you sit in a car for hours on end in the hot desert to conserve gas. Now, you'd expect Hayley to want to go. I mean, it's a hippie festival. But she actually makes a good point, kind of.
No, it's all about a bunch of naked morons drinking and doing lots of drugs. What are we, 12?
Yeah, I'm kind of on Hayley's side. Like, I've always wanted to go there, but I feel like, 1, I'd probably die because it's in the desert and I am sensitive to heat. 2, I don't know how to drive, and I don't really know anybody who'd want to go who could drive. And 3, it's kind of like Coachella to me, where I get what it was originally supposed to do, but it's been co-opted by a bunch of rich people who want to pretend they're poor for a few days, and therefore they miss the entire point of the festival. And Jeff spends so much time trying to show that Burning Man is a good idea that, well, he forgets to do the thing.
This is a microcosm of the power that is Burning Man.
No, Jeff, you don't say that. You say, this is the microcosm of the power of Burning Man. Get it right. Of course, Jeff and Hayley do end up going, but in a completely different fashion. Francine's mind has been wiped, and she now thinks it's the 80s. She's like younger, and Hayley is her roommate. So they do a 51st dates kind of idea and let her live out that reality. The problem, well, it involves nonstop partying.
Hayley, I thought we were going to Burning Man.
Sorry, but my mom decided to throw a rager. Besides, Jeff, I never said I was going.
She has to get that muffin kiosk somehow, and she takes Jeff with her to Burning Man. I'm sorry, I like doing it. Meaning Stan and Hayley now have to go. Ugh, but road trip! Just do that thing where you stop on the road to conserve gas, okay? But they do have a pretty sweet moment where Stan reveals, like, kind of how he fell in love with Francine.
On our wedding day, I placed this yellow flower in your mom's white bouquet. It symbolized her sunshine brightening my otherwise cloudy world.
Dad, I've never seen this side of you.
Aww. As it turns out, Jeff actually hates being at Burning Man since Francine ditched him there. I kinda get it. I'm the type where I like to wander around cons by myself and just like drift and drift. But at least Hayley is excited.
Let me get this straight. You ran away with my memory-erased mother to a pagan festival just to get my attention?
Did it work?
Did it ever?
Aww. Speaking of doing things for Hayley's attention, Bullocks to Stan also has Jeff change his behavior to impress her. Hayley has decided to break up with Jeff because he's clingy, which will become a theme later on.
We're so good together.
No, we're not. You never challenge me. You just always agree with me.
You're right. I so do that. but I can change.
No, you can't.
You're right.
That's totally me. Still, nothing he says will change her mind.
Let's get married.
Goodbye, Jeff.
Good call, babe. You can do better.
Laugh now, dude, but he will be your husband one day. As a result, Hayley is now single and decides to date Avery Bullock. At least she found someone. Wait, oh no, she found someone! He's old enough to be her grandpa, and he's her dad's boss, so I'm sure he broke a HR rule somewhere. The Smiths don't appreciate it, but the only thing keeping Stan from kicking Bullock in the bullocks is Bullock promising that if he keeps letting him plow Hayley, he'll give Stan the promotion he so craves, in the rudest way possible.
I'm afraid I left all my electrolytes with your daughter. Hey, do you know what I was thinking about last night while I was gazing at the back of your daughter's head? Your promotion.
Jesus Christ, dude! You actually look? Weird that this episode and She Will Survive turn Hayley into this carrot on a stick for Stan, in the worst ways possible. Like, if you keep letting your daughter be destroyed, then I'll give you what you want.
Oh, come on. I've picked up your laundry, I've polished your shoes, I've done everything but bend over backwards for you, and my daughter did that, so I say we count it.
Francine begs Stan to say something, but he won't.
You don't want to confront your boss till you've gotten your promotion.
Oh, old big boob Blondie's got it all figured out, huh?
You know, I used to be a blonde during the lockdowns, and I think if I was more popular then, I probably would have been called that, not Mama Kitty. I think another reason Stan won't say anything is because he knows Hayley won't break up with him if he does. She's a rebel after all, and he's already tried saying something. But maybe nobody has to say anything, as in Stan or Francine. Jeff has come crawling back to Hayley, but he is still his chipper old self, the only difference being that this time, he's drunk. But Hayley does say that if he's more confident and assertive, not insertive, she'd gladly take him back.
Oh no, be assertive!
Beep, beep.
Not insertive!
So Stan tries to give Jeff assertiveness training, be it a blanket party or the 1984 method. You can't just have him pop a volleyball or, like, eat a hot dog.
I have blood in my ears.
All right, Jeff, this is an apple.
Okay.
Once again, this is an apple.
Okay. Ah!
Damn it, man, you know what this is. Be more assertive.
Careful, Jeff. Next, he's gonna bring out the cage full of rats. Jeff goes back to Hayley, which is bad news for Bullock, so he makes Stan a deal. If he kills Jeff, he'll get the promotion. And he actually has to, actually kill Jeff because he's part of the CIA. He can check whether or not Jeff is still alive. They take Jeff out into the woods, likely inspired by Vice President Cheney, but Stan decides to grant him mercy.
Maybe at least give him a head start.
Capital idea! We'll make a game of it. You have 30 seconds. 1, 2...
Maybe Jeff is husband material. Jeff calls Hayley to tell her to come help him.
Avery.
Look, you gotta come get me. I stole their car to escape, but they're only a couple miles behind me.
Then why'd you stop?
It's an SUV. We've only got one planet.
Plus, I mean diner, Hayley. He just died. He deserves some cinnamon toast. And I don't really like toast, but that actually sounds really good. Bullock and Stan track him down after like 3 hours. Like, holy crap, it really takes you that long to decide or to find that dude? Well, then again, Stan also had to carry Bullock, so I guess that counts. And Jeff finally stands up for himself.
I'm assertive now. Listen, dude.
Well, at least he tried. But on the bright side, Bullock realizes it's a bad move to mouth off to your best employee about banging his daughter. So he pretends this was all a trick to give Stan the promotion, and also to mouth off to said daughter in the presence of said employee.
Dad, you're not really buying all this.
Oh, poor Hayley. A mere pawn. A necessary sacrifice to ensure our country promotes the best man possible.
The weird thing is, I feel like if this were the later seasons, that would be the twist. When I first saw this episode, I was in middle school, and I honestly thought that was the twist. Like, Bullock planned all this to give Stan the promotion. Not that he was just being a jerk, and he just, pretended it was a twist in order to get Stan to stop attacking him. And that is why kids should not watch adult cartoons. They can't comprehend what is and isn't a twist. Well, so season 1 and or 2, depending on where you watch the show, paints a weird picture of the two. Are they really in love, or are they just two kids who are together because of proximity? Like, maybe they like each other now, but when Hayley graduates college, she'll likely dump Jeff for somebody better. And honestly, I think this does spell the thesis for their relationship for the next few seasons. Hayley, as far as she knows, is with Jeff because it's a Reacher-Settler type dynamic, where Hayley settled for Jeff, and she's fine with it until something better comes along, or until she remembers, like, oh yeah, this is why we're together, since she's Stan's daughter. But Jeff reached for the stars, and rather than getting the Voyager 2 space probe because it's all the way out in the heliosphere, he got Hayley. But we do see the cracks beginning to form at times, like in Dungeons and Wagons, where Hayley rightfully gets mad that Jeff won't respect her boundaries after they break up, or even before they break up.
What?
You're clingy, and you're smothering me, and it's over.
I can't believe you're doing this over the phone.
Goodbye, Jeff.
Hayley, wait! She hung up.
Thank God I don't date. But when Jeff starts to hang out with Steve and play his World of Warcraft knockoff, Hayley is upset he is no longer paying any attention to her.
I know it must be hard for someone like you to lose someone like me, but...
Oh my God!
Jeff, hello? Woman you worship talking.
How dare he actually do what you told him to do, Hayley? So she ends up killing Steve's character in the game to get Jeff to come crawling back to her.
I shall strike you down with a single...
Rothaga.
That felt good.
Even if she could just play the game with the two, I mean, she's like a character already. She doesn't have to kill his character. She could just play with them. I'm sure they'll be cool with that. Wow, she really takes the long way out. That's how she likes it, kitty. Ooh, Catherine, sick burn. However, what redeems this in my eyes is how, when Hayley tries to get Jeff to go hang out again, Jeff chews her out for ruining her little brother's fun.
It was just a character in a game.
Yeah, but to Steve it was everything. You know when you dumped me? I blame myself. But after what you did to your brother, you're just heartless. You're bad candy, babe.
That sounds familiar, but I wonder why. Hayley eventually can't take it and goes with Jeff on a long voyage to retrieve an amulet and revive Steve's character. They actually grow closer, and it seems like maybe, just maybe, they'll finally...
How's it going?
What? When did you meet him?
Remember that tavern and you went to the bathroom? It just kind of happened.
Son of a... The second episode is Pulling Double Booty. Jeff and Hayley are going to the mall where Jeff...
It's a business trip. I'm gonna buy some beads at the bead store and then open up my own bead store.
But as it turns out, it's all a pretense. He's really there to, break up with Hayley. Whereas most other episodes, it's the other way around.
He breaks up with Jeff at least every other week.
You don't understand. This time he broke up with her.
Actually, that's a good detail, guys. I think this is like the first episode where Jeff actually breaks up with her instead. I mean, I guess you can argue he kind of did that in Dungeons and Wagons, but it wasn't a breakup, more like him setting a boundary. But why break up?
I don't know. It wasn't just one thing, Mr. S. It was like 2 things.
Not acceptable! But at least you're keeping up with that assertiveness trading, Jeff. Did you destroy some little girl's ice cream with sand? Unfortunately, Hayley is both a hypocrite and emotionally unstable, like she should really be like medicated or something, and doesn't enjoy being dumped. Meaning Jeff gets physically attacked and the store gets ruined.
Whenever she gets dumped, she completely wigs out. I don't know why, but it's always been that way.
You know, that's a really harsh lesson I had to learn. People will always tell you, even try to force you to stand up for yourself, and then they'll get pissed when you finally do. I mean, come on, Hayley wished that Jeff could be more of a man, and he even tried to do that. He respectfully took her to a public place so she wouldn't cause a scene, and she still did. Also, this is a bit of a later edition, but I want to get it out of the way now. One of my favorite Jeff and Hayley plots overall is the marriage counseling and I Am the Walrus, because these two really need counseling. Jeff and Hayley married in the later seasons, spoiler alert, we'll get there when we get there, but there's some trouble in paradise. Lately, Jeff and Hayley have been fighting, especially over something as minute as putting some furniture together.
Hey, you're opening the wrong end.
It doesn't matter what end you open.
See? Now you broke it.
You can't break something before you put it together, Dumbo.
Wait, is it like IKEA? Okay, that makes sense. But I thought y'all learned from the swing fiasco that you don't put it together yourselves. You just pay the guy to put it together. Anyhow, yeah, they've been fighting and they can't have that kind of a swing to fix it because they still live with Hayley's parents. So they must resort to fighting. Thankfully, they come up with the idea of marriage counseling. Therefore, nobody has to fight. Or you can fight in a confined public space where the counselor will tell you you're both wrong. I mean, is that such a good idea? Well, to me it is, since we can all use a little counseling, but Jeff and Hayley wonder if it's right for them.
Maybe we need to talk to someone.
You mean like a marriage counselor? No way! We've been married for like 5 minutes!
That is true, and y'all were kind of an on-again, off-again thing for the entirety of the show, and you would break up for the pettiest of reasons. Which I know it's because it's a show, so they can get away with a lot, but if you have doubts about somebody, well, I hate to break it to you, marriage isn't going to solve those problems. If anything, it'll exacerbate them, since you're just going to be around them and around those problems 24/7. Really, you should confront those problems or try to get help. They go to marriage counseling, but because neither has insurance, it's at the community center.
In a community center pottery class.
Public assisted counseling is all we can afford, babe.
Dude, this is why we need to destigmatize mental health. I bet these professionals don't have confidentiality agreements. Anybody can know your secrets, including therapy horses. At least you can make pottery. Actually, that would be kind of a good lesson. Maybe it could be like from Ghost. Their counselor turns out to be Principal Lewis. Really? Principal Lewis? What did I just say? What did I just say? He is the person... Honestly, I feel like he'd probably be a good counselor. I'm sorry. Because he works with kids, and I feel like with kids, you should have some kind of psychological experience. But ain't no way this mofo's keeping quiet about nothing. But he promises he can help them. Yeah, by getting the heck out and bringing out the real counselor. Sorry, I actually really do love Principal Lewis. He's one of my favorite characters, and I could tell Kevin Michael Richardson probably has a lot of fun playing him, but I am just having way too much fun with this. The counseling turns out to not actually begin at the community center, but off-site at Principal Lewis's house.
You have 45 minutes to clean this room. Good arena for bonding exercises and a constant reminder of what happens if you try to strike some sense into your lady. Trust me on this.
Actually, I feel like that's a pretty good starting ground. It helps to show him how they work as a couple on something as minor as chores, and it can help him see where the problem lies. Maybe Hayley's a control freak and insists on doing the cleaning herself. Maybe Jeff is highly critical and tells Hayley she's doing it wrong without showing her or telling her how he thinks it should be done. Maybe they're on the same page and they can do it in that time so their issues go deeper than that, but they refuse because they just think it's an excuse for Lewis to have free labor.
It just got real. Now clean my house!
Yeah, they clean Lewis's house, but he still refuses to let them go, which means they must escape, and now. But how? Hey, that rhymes. Well, by paralyzing Lewis with roofie pills, of course.
What's that?
It paralyzes you. If I can't move, I can't work. I got it from Ace Chapman, that basketball guy who sometimes lives with us.
I have questions about how Jeff knows this, especially considering why can't we be friends? The two start to formulate a plan to get rid of Lewis, and it works. And they take his beloved Mickey Mouse watch as the spoils of what they accomplished. I don't know what you would call it. Yay, they're at home. Oh crap, he's back. Wow, he's quick. Or unless this is like a day later, I don't know. But as it turns out, Lewis didn't do all of this to be Lewis. This is just how he does marriage counseling.
You kidnapped us and forced us into slave labor!
Did I? Or did I solve your marital strife as promised by providing you with a common enemy?
Whoa.
I still think part of him was just him being Lewis, but that is a pretty genius idea otherwise. Kinda wish they took a similar approach in Dr. Klaus this, but I guess what people don't know can't hurt them. It's sad how true that is. On the bright side, at least they had good therapy, in a sense, without going to therapy and killer vacation. The Smiths are in Hawaii, and Steve can't hang out with Jeff because he has a plotline with Hayley that can't involve minors.
I guess I'll just hang with Jeff then.
No can do. I'll be spending my time rolling naked on top of your sister.
That's good. I really actually mean that. I'm not being sarcastic. They're trying to reunite the passion in the bedroom. Well, have you ever thought about a palate cleanser? It is November, that horrible month. But no, No, okay. Let's get to the episode, guys. Jeff and Hayley find that they're lacking, and Jeff believes in the power of room service mayo. Really? They have that? The pair give up trying and decide they'll live their lives like Elizabeth and Roger. Wait, does this mean one of them will be the Grouch? Klaus isn't even in this episode, so it won't be proper. They're approached by two people whose names I don't remember. Actually, not even the wiki names them, so just call them whatever you want. But they tell Jeff and Hayley there's a way to bring back the spark. Swapping. Eating meat for once if you're a vegan. Wearing something other than pants. Cross-dressing, if you catch my drift. No, I don't. Can you just say it? Okay, they're swinging. Oh, okay, that makes more sense. Jeff and Hayley don't want to do it because they're vanilla, and okay, some people have their limits, but they soon come around only to discover...
Oh.
Anyway, Jeff and Hayley go to a beach, and it seems to work. The spark is back, baby! Since Hayley didn't go through with it, even though I like to think she did, but Jeff did, but at least he'll take it to the grave with some room service mayo.
Jeff, you have mayo on your back.
Okay, so Jeff and Hayley have also broken up several times for various reasons. I mean, they broke up in Hayley's because Hayley had the dream about the creepy classroom. They broke up in pulling double booty because, I don't know. And I listed all those other examples. And during those times, especially after Hayley has dated other people. Among them, Ethan and Reginald. They eventually want to do a full video for Reginald and Hayley, so I'll give the broad strokes version here. They go from an enemy to lovers trope because Hayley hates Ethan, and they're both dating other people, but they do grow close, and eventually, Reginald works up the courage to ask Hayley out on a date and bully for Steve.
In fact, I am so cool, I'm gonna go pick up myself one of those polyester-style jackets. What do you call them? They're kind of slippery, they swish. Windbreaker, that's the word.
But he waited too long. Hayley and Reginald are on their date at the carnival, which is going kind of boring since Reginald is too short to go on any rides. Hayley, just pretend you're pregnant and you can't afford medical care and just hide him under your shirt. When suddenly, Jeff returns. Apparently, since Hayley last broke up with him, he's been in Jerusalem trying to track down the inventor of the Everything Bagel.
I thought you were in Jerusalem, trying to track down the inventor of the Everything Bagel.
I was, but I got this job offer selling glow things, and that's like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Which honestly, considering Jeff and the dank weed factory, that sounds like it'd be a good episode. And according to Wikipedia, I'll just read the article here, the origin of the Everything Bagel is disputed. A 1977 article in Newsday on where to eat in Sarsath, New York noted that at Bagel Master, for those who can never decide if they want plain salt, poppy seed, sesame seed, garlic, or onion, there's something called the Everything Bagel, which is topped with all of them. David Gusson claims he invented it sometime around 1980 while sweeping up leftover bagel toppings from the oven. Gusson saved them in a bin and convinced the store owner to make bagels with them. He concurs that others might have previously invented the concept, but he coined the term Everything Bagel. Others who have claimed to have invented the Everything Bagel include American restaurateur Joe Bastianich and sports marketeer Brandon Steiner. In his blog, Seth Godin said he worked in a bagel factory that produced Everything Bagels 2 years before Gusson. Brandon Steiner, who believes his invention at a bakery in 1973 predates the others, wrote in a 2016 blog post, "One night I was screwing around with different combinations of toppings, sesame, salt, poppy, onion, and garlic, making braids, onion flats, and other unorthodox concoctions. Then after a while, I had the thought to throw away all the toppings on a bagel at once. That's how I invented the bagel." This was 1973, I was 14. Sorry, I was curious. I like to educate my viewers. And again, I feel like this would be a good video. Like maybe they find out it's really Roger who did it, or Roger's really one of those dudes. But it seems like chemistry that was once there is still there, which makes sense. The last time Hayley broke up with Jeff, it was because she thought she was going to do what society wanted, i.e. get married and have babies, when really she was just having a trauma dream about being brainwashed by Stan and the CIA. But as far as she knew, she was basically having a quarter-life crisis, and she grew out of it when she realized she ended up married to Dill Shepard. Perhaps Hayley now realizes how silly she was, and maybe Jeff was the one for her.
You guys want to see where all the clowns sleep? It's super sad.
Yeah, sure. Oh, but we were about to go on the Ferris wheel.
Oh, that's okay. You two go ahead.
But Hayley is with Reginald now. Good thing Reginald can tell when he isn't wanted, so he lets Hayley go.
I love you, Hayley. I always have.
Reggie, I had no idea.
No, you didn't. Now I'm going to give you some time to listen to your heart.
Wait, but what happened to Reggie? But Jeff and Hayley have been together ever since, which finally brings us to 100 AD and Son of Stan. 2 episodes that prove to viewers that Jeff and Hayley are right for one another, and the one where they get a relationship upgrade. As you might have guessed by now, Stan doesn't particularly like Jeff, but he does put up with him the same way you would with a hemorrhoid. Carmen gets a theme park, and I get a hemorrhoid. Ow. And because Jeff has toyed with Hayley's emotions, well, Francine is now on that bandwagon, even if she was pretty okay with Jeff beforehand.
Shoot! Shoot! Scat!
Jeff, you're not good enough for our daughter. Plus, you're always wiping your face.
No, I'm not.
Granted, I do have a few problems with this, but Hayley says that after what happened with Reginald, well, she isn't in any hurry to get together with anyone.
Look, he's a sweet guy. He's just a little lost right now.
Hayley, you don't know what you're talking about. You have terrible judgment. The one time we let you order pizza, you ordered no sauce, extra olives.
I mean, he did tell her to take her time and see how she wants to be. Maybe she thinks it's a mistake because she did like Reggie, so. But Jeff won't leave her alone, and he woos her over. And she and him decide to elope because she knows her parents will try to stop them, which they do try to do. I mean, Stan even has a chip in her brain because he's CIA, and apparently they're like pets, I guess. Stan decides that the only way to stop them, and because this is the 100th episode, they need to have some cameos to celebrate, is that he will offer $50,000 to whoever manages to stop the wedding. And ironically, that was the money they were going to give Hayley for her wedding, which is doubly ironic when you realize Hayley's probably the type where she'd just get married at like a courthouse and call it a day. Like, you really wasted money for nothing. Like, that should go to Steve. Or that should be like their college tuition. But maybe he doesn't have to make this whole contest. While this is going on, Hayley starts to remember why she left Jeff. While he's funny, well, he isn't necessarily husband material. Honestly, she was the most mature one in this relationship, and he also has no long-term plan for what they'll do.
Oh, fancy. Chocolate on the pillow. Hey, come back, chocolate.
Jeff calls Francine and Stan and says that he's having second doubts, and if they give him the money, he'll permanently leave Hayley. After all, since he's not marrying Hayley, he's technically ruining the wedding.
Oh, $100 bills. Hello, President Shakespeare. You'll find Hayley at the Chimdale Mountain Inn.
We were right about you all along.
Wow, so Jeff is a jerk. No wonder he wears that weirdo hat. Stan and Francine go to tell Hayley, who's wearing a weirdo wedding dress and white headband, some things never change, and tell her that Jeff broke up with her for money, and she's so distraught that she wants to go cry and be alone. But she's alone for a while.
Oh my god, Hayley!
Don't worry, it's not Hayley. As it turns out, Jeff and Hayley scammed her parents for the money. They plan to start their lives on the right track by having plenty of money in the bank and just being happy. And Stan, for once in the show, actually respects Jeff, rather than pitying him.
Our daughter's new husband just made 50 grand in half a day. Maybe he's not the idiot we thought he was.
Huh, so maybe Hayley's judgment isn't so bad.
In Son of Stan, we discover that the pair have taken a honeymoon to Thailand, a place I can't go to because I made a joke about the King of Thailand in another video, so I don't want to be in jail for 7 years. Which Roger disagrees with highly because he missed his opportunity to track them down in 100 AD.
Most brilliant, elegant plan I've ever come up with.
It's our money, and we're making it last.
Yeah, we're gonna use it to start our new life, selling both realistic and unrealistic wolf masks.
Well, obviously you shouldn't have gotten high, Roger. What, did you, like, assault another checkbook? They obviously refuse, so Roger has no choice but to use the best weapon in his arsenal, making troll noises. I love that noise so much. I annoyed so many people with that when I was like 12. The pair travel the world trying to avoid Roger, but they relent and give him all they have.
Yes! I told you I'd get the money. Wait, where did it all go?
We spent it trying to get away from you, you dumbass.
Oh.
Huh. We'll leave for effort, Roger. Guess you technically got what you wanted, but at what cost? Oh, that's ironic. At least you tried. Now, Jeff and Hayley are effectively homeless, and they barely have any money to their name. What will they do? This would be a good idea for a recurring subplot, as they try to move on with their lives and stubbornly refuse any help from her parents. After all, one of my favorite parts of the show is how they have these recurring storylines in the background, most recently with Hayley and Reginald. Maybe we can get a subplot of the pair trying to survive, or having different jobs each episode or something like that. Or they can pop in during certain episodes episodes, if only for a cameo, like in White Rice. Like, babe, I didn't know your mom was Chinese. No, sweetie, she was raised by a Chinese couple. But no. Well, actually, it's a long story. Apparently, they were gonna have a subplot of Jeff and Hayley trying to navigate their lives without the Smiths, and we were supposed to spend each episode before they came back showing how they were spending the money. But for whatever reason, it was cut down to just one episode. All I know is that for a good long while, Jeff and Hayley did not appear. I mean, Rachel McFarlane still appeared, but just not as Hayley. And at times it did feel like there was a hole in the show. Plus, again, I feel like it could have been a good opportunity for a subplot. Like maybe because they have no money, they have to be like cast members at Disney or something like that. I mean, there are a few moments where the Smiths have to deal with the fallout, like Francine and Stan wondering if they drove away Hayley because of how they parent her.
We raised a junior college dropout who stole 50 grand from us and eloped with a stoner hippie. Face it, Slick. We've failed as parents.
But that's really it. Or how they have to spend their first Thanksgiving without her. Which, yeah, again, I guess it is good they aren't focusing on it as much, but really, again, it is kind of weird. Like, maybe with White Rice, for instance, Francine could talk about moving her parents to town, not only because it's Baba's birthday, but because Hayley's not around anymore, so she wants to keep whatever remaining family she has close. Eventually, Jeff and Hayley return in There Will Be Bad Blood, where they rescue the Smiths from Rusty's land, and we do find out what happened while they were gone.
It was totally random. After we ran out of money, Jeff suggested that we
Feed the fish.
So, long story short, we moved to the desert.
Please pass the turkey jerky.
I wonder if that was an episode we almost got. Like, again, imagine how cool that would be. I've always wondered, though, if they knew that was Rusty's land, because not even Stan knew he had all of that land, and they just hid out there because Rusty really had no problem with Hayley, just with Stan himself, because that would be really cool. But yeah, no, they've moved back into Hayley's bedroom, where they live to this day. And ever since, Jeff and Hayley have had a pretty good marriage. What I like is, with a few exceptions, Hayley loves Jeff and will do whatever for him and support him. Like in The People vs. Martin Sugar, where Francine says they're happy they're home, but they need to lay down some ground rules. Most importantly, Jeff is not allowed to smoke pot, even if I feel like he could just smoke pot anywhere but the house or just do it when Stan's not home. And you can't get edibles because why exactly? What, you get gummies and then leave them out somewhere hot and they melt? Only an idiot would do that, right? But Hayley does defend Jeff, or at least tries.
He has a compulsive disorder that could get really bad if he goes off his medication.
It's okay, Hayley. I can handle it. I mean, weed's the thing I care about the most, but maybe that should be you.
In case you're wondering, Jeff's prescription isn't because he has anxiety or the HIV or glaucoma. He has a psychological need to spill room service mayo all over the house for reasons. Which part of me wonders if he actually really does have a prescription, or if it's just he's doing this to try to get like Francine to be like, okay, you can smoke it. Sorry. And again, I kind of wonder if Hayley knew that, or if she just knew he had a prescription and didn't really think it was right of her to ask. I think there could have been a bigger difference if she outright told Francine, Mom, Jeff needs to smoke it or he'll cover everything in room service mayo. And even Francine tries to tell her, like, look, you need to satisfy him more so he'll not want to do all that. And hey, even if I don't like the episode Less Money, Mo Problems, I will say that I appreciate Jeff and Hayley having each other's backs and being on the same page. But yeah, like I alluded to with Killer Vacation, there is trouble in paradise. In Naked to the Limit, one more time, we learn that Jeff has no clue that Roger is an alien, mostly because the Smiths know he's a chatty Caffey, so he'll blab. And we can't count on him to go to Laos and to marry a Laotian girl like Stan's friend. But Roger wants nothing more than to be naked around his own house, even though I feel like he could probably just do that in the attic or when Jeff's not home, and not have to worry, so he tries to find a way around things. For example, he asks Hayley, who for once in her life actually agrees with Stan. Jeff is terrible when it comes to secrets.
Up until last year, he had an imaginary friend named Philip. He was actually the best man at our wedding.
No one can tell a 20-minute joke like Phil can.
Aw, it actually paints a good picture of Son of Stan. Instead, Roger decides to pretend he's Jeff's imaginary friend, and it seems to work for a while. But Jeff figures it out thanks to Klaus. Yeah, that rhymes. And Stan says that because of this, he must kill either Jeff or Roger, or both of them. Jeff insists he can keep a secret.
There's no way he's gonna tell anyone knowing that his life is at stake.
No, a real live alien. Roger, here, tell the guy who runs the Toaster Quiznos I'm not lying.
Jeff, you idiot. Look, it's not your fault you went to space, but at times like this, yeah, I do think it is. And honestly, this is part of why I did not like Jeff for the longest time. Like, it was not until we got lost in space that he became one of my favorite characters. To avoid a possible death of the pillowcase grab bag, even if Roger would have, won as in lived, Roger tries to take a third option and say he'll go back to his home planet, presumably forever. Or at least until Jeff dies, so I guess maybe 10 years?
I can go back to my home planet.
You mean leave? Forever?
If that's what it takes.
I guess that could work.
But as we all know, it was a trap, and he really sent Jeff into space.
Thank you so much for saying that, Roger.
Come here, honey.
Jeff, no!
I've always wondered about this, if he told them that he was going to send Jeff, or if, that bag packed was information on Jeff, or if that was his version of apologizing to the Emperor. Of course, none of the Smiths care, because at this point, Jeff wasn't really anything to them but a glorified roommate. They only really put up with him for Hayley. But Hayley, yeah, she takes it pretty hard. Wouldn't you? Heck, I like how we see both of them grieving the possibility they might never be able to see each other again, and the fact they can't openly grieve at first makes it worse. Yeah, that rhymes. With Hayley, she's merely pushed through the 5 stages of grief by Roger and Stan, aka the 2 reasons Jeff was abducted, just for selfish reasons because they want a coach for their badminton team, rather than being allowed to grieve at her own pace.
Jeff is gone, and I accept that now.
Great!
I also accept that you 2 jerks are the reason he was abducted in the first place.
Whereas for Jeff, he's put to work at a shawarma stand and told that his feelings of love don't matter and they're invalid, because it's clearly just a chemical reaction to get lower life forms to breed.
The love I have for Hayley is real.
Do not challenge your emperor! Or put so much ice in the drinks. It already comes out cold.
And then he's publicly humiliated for all of the times he treated Hayley poorly, and told he'll lose his sausage on top of that.
If you can't prove the love, you lose your tools for love.
See you tomorrow at 6 a.m. for your smoothening, Mr. Fisher!
No, not only does he have to wake up super early, but now he can't do room service mayo stuff. What is with you in this room service mayo, Kitty? I like the joke. Actually, fun fact about Kitty, I actually hate mayo. It makes me gag like crazy, and I don't know why. But Jeff discovers that Roger's emperor and ex-boyfriend had his heart broken, so he took his emotions out on his people and on compulsive shopping, and he waged a war against love. Plus, we do learn that Jeff did a lot to impress Hayley and show he cared. Well, while we're at it, he is able to stage a rebellion and escape with the ghost of Sinbad, but at the cost that he might not ever be able to make it back to Earth because 1, he doesn't know how space works, and 2, there's a billion different Earths. Plus, space is really huge. Good thing Roger's people have FTL. Back on Earth, Hayley tries to move on with her life. The key word here being tries. She really needs therapy. She tries going on dates and they don't work, with her grandmother stealing one of them, despite already being married to Baba.
Let me tell you what my mom tell me when I was your age. Man you love, die in space, so you marry Baba now. We need find you new man.
Plus, Roger steals said boyfriend from both of them. Roger already stole her husband, dude.
Come on, I still got 2 big installs tonight, but only 1 more job to do, if you get my drift.
Heck, she's so desperate she actually tries to date Snot for a little while, which is gross if the genders were reversed. But eventually, she seems to find love with millionaire Matt Davis. Yes, that's his real name.
I'm millionaire Matt Davis.
Millionaire Matt Davis? Is that your real name?
Yeah, my mom had high hopes for me, and I exceeded them by 380 million.
He treats her like a goddess, he's rich, he's philanthropy, and he wants to take Hayley on a trip around the world. The thing is, well, Steve has been fiddling around with an old ham radio, and Jeff and Sinbad managed to contact her through it, and say they found a shortcut back to Earth. And before that, well, it turns out, well, they spend all day talking her ear off, when she really should be talking to millionaire Matt Davis. I mean, Hayley, he's literally a millionaire, it says so in his name. But the possibility Jeff might come back causes her to give up millionaire Matt Davis for Jeff. Too bad the shortcut back to Earth is a wormhole, and if you watched Interstellar, you know that if a wormhole feels like 5 minutes for you, it's probably 50 years for everybody else. Meaning that Hayley effectively wasted her life for Jeff to return, almost to die of a heart attack, and learn that millionaire Matt Davis was an actual person who spent the rest of his life being a janitor because it was the only time he was happy because it was when he got to meet Hayley.
Ever since then, I've just been mopping up vomit and guts at this hospital, just trying to relive the best day of my life. The day I met Hayley.
Jeff does the only thing he can do. Go back for the wormhole, aka back in time, even if it potentially means being trapped in deep space forever, and tell Hayley that it's unfair for her to wait for him and she's free to move on, even if it hurts both of them.
Move on, babe. I release you.
I'll never forget you, Jeff Fisher.
Yeah, but eventually he properly returns in holy sugar honey iced tea. Jeff is back, and he's rebirthed in Roger's baby. Fully human. Too bad the real Jeff died, so they like brains in there, and he's like an alien. Oh, it's confusing. Just watch the episode, okay? And Jeff has been a great member of the Smith family ever since. Even being a great surrogate brother to Steve. One of my favorite episodes is Shakedown Steve, where the two of them spend the summer selling grilled cheese sandwiches, because it is really sweet, and it shows that the writers really do their research, or they know a few people who are into hippie subculture, and it's not all just like, oh, protest against the government, don't shave your arms.
I was little. I saw a man stabbing his family at a rest stop, and I pretended not to notice.
Let's just savor this moment.
Heck, Jeff and Hayley's love is so strong, it actually survived canoeing for their anniversary, when the guy running the canoe shop thought that nobody could possibly do it. And I think it's sweet that for their anniversary, they gave the other an oar. Like, they just knew.
Surprise!
You bought me an oar.
An oar?
An oar! Great minds, right?
And I like how, again, they have such trust in each other that kind of like Francine and George Clooney, they have a we can do one person and it won't count type of deal. And with Hayley, she tries to do the weekend.
Sure you'll be okay if I sleep with the weekend?
When you sleep with the weekend. I've given you the tools. You've got to do the hammering.
And Jeff is 100% supportive, even if the weekend can't do it with Hayley, because if he loses his virginity, okay, honestly, I really do hate that episode. It just feels like a poorly written fanfiction. So where do we go from here? I don't know, babe. I don't know. But what I do know is it's November, so that means something, I guess. I don't know, I'm rambling. Actually, next week I'll be at Twin Cities, so go see that. I also have Streamily and cameos if you want to buy that, because I mean, the holidays are coming up, guys. Anyhow, bye.